Hey. Hi, everyone. I think I'm live now. I had issues earlier. Can you hear me? Please let me know in the comment section. Hi, everyone. Technology. Yeah. Can anyone hear me? Please let me know in the comment section if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, awesome. Bolu said she can hear me perfectly. Can I get a second confirmation? Yay! Christiana can hear me. Thank you for joining. Olabisi can hear me. Thank you very much for giving me your evening. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. Thank you, everyone. Glad to see you here, Lillian. Glad to see you here, Osari. My boss, I greet you specially. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'll just go straight into it. Good evening once again. Hi, Sis Evelyn. I can see you, bestie. I feel very honored to have all of you on this stream today. I see you, big sis Lillian. I love you all so much. Thank you so much. I don't take it for granted. I mean, it's my first live, and I called on you all, and here you are showing up for your girl. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I'd like to introduce myself again for those who don't know me very well. My name is Vera Patrick Azodo. Hmm. And I'm the founder of the Readers Corner Book Hub. By now, you already know what we are all about. We're just about promoting the reading culture in homes because we understand that reading is an essential part of every being, right? So we are that one voice calling out to restore this lost culture back to our families. I'm a professional risk manager by profession, but I am also an entrepreneur, like you already know. I have two kids. I'm a mom of two kids, and that's much about me for now. All right. We've lost 7 minutes already, so I'm just going to try to make this really quickly because I don't want to keep you here for too long. Today's topic is on steps to installing a consistent reading habits. Yes, it talks about consistent reading, but I want to assure you that at the end of this discussion today, whatever principle that we're going to be sharing today, you can apply to any area of your life that you want to build consistency in. It doesn't just apply to reading only, but every other area of your life. And the interesting thing about habits is that when you're consistent in one thing, you also apply that same consistency to every other area of your life, right? So I want to assure you that this class is not a waste. You're gonna enjoy every second that you spend with me today. Who is this class for? This class is for you if you struggle to read every day. Yes, that is the minimum expectation, to read every day. If you're here with me, tell me in the comment section if you've read a book today. Tell me, I have read two chapters of a book today, even before I went to church. Tell me in the comment section, have you read anything today? I don't mean scrolling on social media. I mean reading a proper book or an audio book. Tell me in the comment section if you have. I'm looking out. I'm looking out. Thank you for joining us. No one? No one has read your book today? Okay, no problem. At the end of this class, again, I'm going to assure you that you're going to start getting more familiar, and more passionate about reading. So, this class is for you if you're not consistently reading something, reading a book, reading the scriptures, or anything. It's also for you if you're a parent looking to equip your children with reading habits, right? You want to introduce the reading culture in your family. I hear some families where they say, oh, my son is a reader and my daughter is not a reader, or the other way around. Whatever is the case, whatever principle we're going to talk about today, you can apply to your family. Now, a little backstory. Um, I'm the last child out of 6 children. My siblings are here. My big brother is here. My sister is also here supporting me. So growing up, I didn't see. I wasn't very familiar with books. I didn't spend a lot of time with books. Reading a lot. I wasn't a reader, right? But I'll shock you that I graduated with a first class honors, by the way, as my first degree, and for my postgraduate studies, I graduated with a pass, which is like very close to a distinction, very close to a distinction. And at that time, I was heavily pregnant. So I want to believe that if not for the pregnancy, that was my first child, I would have hit a distinction in my second degree. But I wasn't still a reader. So the question is, how did it happen? Yes, this story will resonate with a lot of people because a lot of people, a lot of families have children who are high performers in school. They do very well in school. You teach them, they have magnetic brain, they can, get things stuck in their brains. How about applying those learnings to real life scenarios? So tell me how somebody who was able to read and graduated with a first class then comes back and the person is also not a reader. So I was part of those people that immediately after university, we literally burnt our books, we burnt our clothes, and we even told ourselves that this is the last book I'll read in my life. Yes, I was part of those people. If you were part of those people, then this class is for you. Whatever taught us that culture, they lied to us. That was very wrong. Reading should be a lifelong experience. You don't drop your books because you just finished school or because you went through a very rigorous period of preparing for an exam. No, reading should be done all day, all year round. Right. So that's a little backstory. And I'm going to be sharing with you steps, practical things that I did that helped me to get to a point where I don't start my day without reading a book. Yes, you heard me right. I don't start my day without reading a book. And that's what it is. I don't start my day without reading a book. There are some things that I've done in the background that have gotten me from burning my books, burning my clothes after university to becoming a daily book binger. And those are the things I'm about to share with you today. Before we move to the steps, there's a popular saying that the person that knows the why is better than the person that knows how. So what am I saying in essence? Why are we even preaching for reading, daily reading? Why are we advocating for it? That's what I want to start this conversation with. Because if you know why you should read consistently, or if you know the benefits you get from reading regularly, then it will be less of an argument to make you read every day, right? So the first reason why you should develop this consistency in reading is one, the consistency you build in reading every day is what you apply to other areas of your life. I said this in the introductory speech. The consistency you're able to build in reading applies to every area of your life, in your spiritual life, in your career, in your parenting, in your marriage. Yes, that's how consistency works. Once you get into something and you're able to do it repeatedly, it becomes a habit. And from there, it just comes to stay. By default, your brain is wired to do it repeatedly. That is what consistency does. And so for me, I'm going to be referencing a lot of my personal story of my journey with the Inner Circle program. So for those of you who are not in the Inner Circle program, the Inner Circle program is anchored by the Intentional Parents Academy, and is an online academy that teaches us how to parent with a difference, right? So it was through that program that I built my own reading habits, right? So I'm going to be making a lot of references to it. Now, the second reason why you should develop your reading culture is that it enhances your work with God. Yes, it guarantees you spiritual growth. Yes, I can help you make the connection. Many of us struggle to also read our Bibles. Yes, that is because we don't have that habit. What you can't give what you don't have. So you might get the prompt, oh, I want to read my Bible. Sometimes we even read, we don't study it. We just read to tick the boxes. And many of the times we don't read at all. That is because we don't have that habit. We have not unlocked that habit. I'm also standing here today. I'm on a journey. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not there. But I make bold to say that I don't start my day without my Bible study. Yes, as at today. I wasn't always like this. Remember, I have walked through a process. The next reason why you should build consistency in reading is that it guarantees your financial growth. Yes, you heard me right. Consistent reading guarantees your financial growth in many ways. A writer once says, to earn more, you must learn more. And to learn more, you must read more. So I don't know where you are currently on your finances. Are your numbers looking good? Are you where you want to be? If you're not, then I bring you one secret that you can unlock, and that is a consistent reading habit. I'll explain more. Another writer once says that there's something called the 555 success formula, and it's very simple. It says to to succeed in your career, and of course, which translates to better improved finances, you should read the top 5 books written by the 5 most successful people in your field. And this will make you among the top 5 in that field within 5 years. That is the 5-5-5-5 success formula. Yes, and it has been proven to work over and over again. I don't know what your field is, your career. You're an architect, you're a doctor. How much time do you dedicate to improve yourself on that field? How are you positioning yourself to stand out in that field? You're into finances, financial advisory. Do you even know the top, the top or the big wigs in that industry? Not let alone to know the books that they've written. The only thing that guarantees more money is more value. So, how do you get value? It's by reading literature, reading articles, reading publications in your field of interest. So, the connection is very obvious. For you to get more money, you need to learn more. You need to know more in your field. The second reason why reading guarantees you financial growth is this. Um, you want to be the preferred candidate for any job that you're interviewing for. How do we achieve that? The best way to achieve that is to become a master in that field, right? Is the best way to achieve it, because during interviews, during applications, tons of resumes are sent in. Something has to make your own stand out. And what is that thing? It is the wealth of knowledge that you have. It is the wealth of knowledge that you've gathered from reading other people's experiences in that field. That's another reason why reading guarantees your financial success. Another reason, this topic is very important because we need money in this life. We need money. So I took my time to do more research around the financial growth. The next one, still on financial growth, is the Bible says in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15, and it says, study to show thyself approved unto God. Right? And towards the end, it says, and only that then shall you have good success. So 2 things are happening. You're studying, 3 things rather. You're studying to show yourself approved. And the second one happening is that God approves of you, right? When God approves of you, the third thing that follows is success. Your ways are prosperous and you're successful. So it is not a coincidence, it's not a mistake. The Bible actually knows what it was saying when it says, study to show yourself approved. I'm reading a book currently and it's titled The Storehouse Principle. Sorry. That book is mind-blowing. It talks about having a storehouse, a reserve. In the book, the context of the book is about putting some money aside, so that when God wants to bless you, he will just quickly multiply from what you have. But I'm going to liken it to your own personal mental storehouse. What is in the storehouse in our brains? That's the question. What is in my brain that when God wants to bless me, where will He start from? Money comes from value. We already know that. And value comes from what? Ideas. Ideas. There are problems everywhere to solve. But how much reserve do you have in your mental storehouse? How much do you have that God can hold on and say, okay, go and do this and go and do that? Right? So that's it on guaranteeing financial growth. Now, another thing that consistent reading does for us is it helps us to build competence and confidence. All of this, both of these two are the ingredients you also need for financial success. So I'm going to unpack this. Competence, I talked about it being the preferred person in your field of endeavor, whatever it is, business, career, whatever it is. That is the competence bit, right? For confidence, you're able to stand and speak what you now have in your head, right? So both of them are like CMS twins, they cannot be separated. For you to be successful financially, career-wise, otherwise, you need to be competent. Competence means you know what to do. You have the necessary skills, the knowledge, and the abilities to perform a task. While confidence is a feeling, like a state of mind, knowing that I can do this thing. Competence is being able to do it. Confidence is knowing that you can do it. All of these two are brought to you when you read regularly. Okay, the more you read, the more you build your confidence, the more you build your competence. Now, my next reason why I'm an advocate of daily reading is that it improves emotional well-being. Yes, I'm going to make the connection for you again. So I'll begin with like children. When a child is trying to fix a puzzle or fix a toy or something, what happens to them really is when they are unable to fix or be successful in what they are doing, they begin to throw tantrums, right? Yes. Tantrums come from inability to do what they want to do. Similarly, as parents, we also throw adult tantrums when we don't know what to do. So, a huge percentage of our tantrums, our emotional outbursts come from not knowing what to do. How else can we know what to do? It is by reading. I tell my friends and I say, for every problem you're going through right now, there's a solution written in a book. And that is very true. For every problem that you're facing right now, there is a solution written in a book. That's the so I give a typical example. Um, so in the inner circle, we have a community, a big community here in Canada, and some time ago, a parent asked the question, and she said, and so in that group, we help each other ask questions and we interact. A parent asked the question, and she said, that she needs advice. She has an 8-year-old girl who, who doesn't know how to control herself with money, something like that. That every time they go shopping, the child is always asking for to buy this and that and that and that. And she asked that question, and people gave their responses. And then a week or 2 weeks later, the book for the month was Raising the Financially Literate Children, written by Chukwemeka Onyenezi. That book, when I read the book in 5 days. When I read that book, everything that this parent needed us to advise her on are written in that book from start to finish. It gives you step-by-step principles how to build your children financially, how to teach them how to manage money and all of that, starting by yourself. So what am I saying? For every difficulty that we have, there is a book that has the answer. I can take this to the bank because I know it. I have read books and I know it. Do you have challenges in your marriage, challenges in your career, challenges in your social skills, your relationships, interpersonal relationships? It is because you have not encountered the book that has the answer. And that is the truth. You have not encountered the book that has the answer. Another reason, also still on emotional well-being, is books. how do I say this now? Books expand your wealth of knowledge regarding how to manage your emotions. So you have books that are written on self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, social skills, and these are the 5 elements of emotions control. If the day you pick up a book on emotions control and read it, I can assure you that the next time you are faced with a difficult situation, you will not have an outburst. So the solution we're looking for is in reading. Emotions control, people, there are tons of literatures on emotions control. Another thing is that books allow you to feel a variety of emotions. So when you're reading a book, there's the high, the low, the suspense, the empathy, the sadness. Science has proven that all of those mix of emotions help to keep us in check. It helps to improve our mental states. And it also helps us to build our resilience and our ability to deal with difficult situations. So it's just like immunization. Why is it being done? The virus is exposed, is brought into our body so that our body can produce antibodies, right? That's the same thing reading does for you. The moment you read about an emotion or you have experienced an emotion through reading, your brains are wired to automatically be able to, solve that kind of difficult situation when it arises again. Another reason why you should love reading after today, it has mental health benefits. Reading has mental health um, health benefits. Science has also said that reading a book is like eating a superfood for your brain. Yes, so many of us fit farm, yeah, we want to look fresh, glowing, and all of that. We eat vegetables, we eat healthy food, superfoods, antioxidants, and all of that. How about our mental states? How about our brain? How are we expanding our brain? And you know that the brain is neuroplastic, such that it expands and continues to expand. You stretch it. The more you stretch it, the more alive that you are. So reading is that singular act that expands our brain, right? It's like a superfood to the brain. And you know that we're not complete without our brains, of course, our mental states. Our mental state is a very integral part of our being, right? So the more you read, the more you're feeding your brain with vitamins, minerals, iron, all of those healthy food, right? Yeah. Um, it also says that reading stimulates the brain's mental pathways, which enhances the brain activity. One thing this does for you is that you're more creative. You're no longer thinking about responses. You're no longer thinking about, oh, what can I do? You're no longer indecisive. Your brain is more like plug and play, because your brain is activated by the day, every day, consistently. So you cannot be in the same level with someone who is, getting by a book, reading once a month or twice a month, and all of that. So another one, shocking one, and this is a very recent research. Reading improves your physical health. Science, there's a current research that says that people who read, or people who read more when they were younger, they are prone to live longer. Yes, very true. There's a link between reading books and longevity. Yes, it's very true. A typical example, many of us in Nigeria, then, many of us, we see the cases where some parents who were actively working, when they were younger, once they retire and they go back home, what happens? Within a few years passing by, they die, right? All of this is tied to our physical well-being. The more you read, the more you stay alive. That is just the truth. The more your brain is active, has something to deliberate on, has something to figure out, the more you stay alive. That is a proven research. Like, I can actually totally read, because I've had uncles who, the moment they are moved from the city back to the village, then the next few years you just hear that they've gone. A writer once said, many people die at 30, but they are buried at 80. What does that mean? The moment when you're not reading, when we're not reading consistently, the brain is slowly deteriorating. The brain is dying slowly. So this is why the next time you hear a conversation about reading a book, please don't push it to the back and say you don't have time. We're coming to that time factor part. We're coming to it. Okay, so reading improves sleep quality also. Yes, reading lowers your blood pressure and reduces stress. Yes, all of this is tied to the neural pathways that are created in the brain when we read. One other reason why we should prioritize reading, no matter how busy we are, is for social engagement. Yes, it's my coach Wendy Olege. She would say, read books so that not when people are having conversations, you'll be shouting, wow, wow, wow. That's the only meaningful contribution that we can make. Just shouting, wow, wow. No, we need to read, be versatile, read anything and everything. All right. So that when conversations are in front of you, you can contribute. It helps us build social connections. We meet people that I mean, if I'm a risk manager, if I'm in a gathering and someone walks up to me and starts talking about what I do every day, IFRS 9, credit risk, and all of that. Do you not think that I will connect better with that kind of person than someone who comes and is just sipping juice and just quiet and has nothing much to say? Definitely, the moment you talk about my field, I am sparked up. I move to you. And in this world of today, you need connections. We need social connections to solve a lot of problems. We need social connections to get jobs, to get businesses, I mean, to even entertain ourselves, to relax and unwind. So it helps you to, let your words flow. I saw somewhere, some a write up somewhere says, read 1,000 words and your words will, read 1,000 books and your words will flow like a river. You're no more in a state where you're thinking, oh, what do I say? What do I have to say? I don't know what to say and all of that. Remember that you already built your competence and you already built your confidence. So conversations just flow like a river. Okay. I'm taking my time to explain why we should prioritize reading because, like I said, the person that knows why is better than the person that knows how. Okay. So now, this list is not exhaustive. I just try to put together a few of them. Maybe in the future, I'm going to have a different discussion where we're going to dissect these whys, why we should prioritize reading. And I think it's a very important conversation because a lot of people just put reading in the backstage, whereas this is money on the table. This is growth, spiritual growth on the table. This is physical and mental well-being on the table. Yet we put it at the backstage. So I hope that up till now we've enjoyed the conversation. Let me see in the comment section what is going on. Let me see what we've taken away. Oh, I see. Sister Lillian says, I read my audio Bible, Sha. Awesome. That's good. That's good. Bulu says to earn more, you must learn more. And that's very correct. That is very correct. Huh. So let's move on to how to. Now that we know why, let us move on to how to. Thank you, sis. Say many die at 30, but buried at 80. That is very true. That is very true. So before I move forward, just to remind us that this is going to be a 3-part session. Today is part 1. I don't want to pack everything in one session and then let you suffer from information overload. I just want to take it bit by bit. This is a journey that we're starting. This is a journey that I'm willing to help anyone who is interested so that we can grow together. Growth is a journey. It's not a destination, right? So I'm also open to learning new things from all of you, and I'm more than happy to meet with you every other weekend so that we can have this conversation. Right. Now, how to? For me, these are the steps that worked for me. Right? These are the steps that worked for me. And I can guarantee you that if you pay attention and apply these things, they're going to work for you. Just a reminder, I was not a reader. In fact, I can say that so many years ago, I would read a book in like 5 years, one book. I would start it and then I would be like, because I didn't prioritize it. I didn't know the essence. right? So I moved from reading maybe a book in 5 years or even longer to reading a book a month. And now I've moved from reading a book a month to reading like 2 or 3 in a month. And I can tell you that the growth that I've recorded is not the same. It's not something that I can begin to talk about on this call. So my first how to install this reading habits. This is Vera's formula. Take it to the bank. Is first, choose to become a reader. I say it again. Choose to become a reader. Mhm. It all starts with a choice. I mean, we can all be on this conversation today, listen up and all of that, and then we just move ahead with our lives and all of that. No, choose to become a reader. The art of choosing is the first step towards change. So, developing a reading habit is a change. It's something that we're trying to reintroduce or introduce to ourselves. In my own case, it was to introduce because I was never a reader. Growing up, I could say from birth to, let's say, 30 years or more, I hadn't read up to 5 books. How is that even possible? When I mean reading, I mean reading outside the walls of a school, not just reading, because you have to read to pass exam, not that. I mean reading inspirational books, motivational books, books focused in my field of study, my field of work, and all of that. Transformation starts with awareness and willingness to change. So you have to first decide that you want to change. So taking it back to my story with the inner circle, when I was with when I really joined the inner circle and we were always made to read books. First of all, they'll give you a long list of books and all of that. Immediately I looked, I'm like, this reading part is not just for me. Well, I just moved to other things. I was doing the connection tools and all other things that we do to equip us to be better parents. But I never paid attention to reading. But the moment I woke up one morning and I was like, Vera, this is not the way to go. These books have been written to solve a particular problem for you. So why are you still going through this problem when the book that will solve the problem for you is right in front of you? And so for me, I took that decision. I took that bold decision and I said, okay, I'm going to look into these books. I'm going to start reading them to know what they're even about, right? And that was what did the magic for me. That was what did the magic for me. Excuse me, please. That was what did the magic for me. I first decided that I was going to start to read. That was it. I first decided it and then I started it. Right? So for me, I think that choice, making that choice is the very first step. Is the very first step to make any change. And a writer once called it, and he says it's called the 3 C's framework for personal transformation. The first C is the choice, which is a decision to do something or not to do something. But I want to shock you that it doesn't end there. So a choice is not just a decision to do something or not to do something. A choice is a decision to do something or not to do something, which determines the direction of your life. I say that again. A choice is a decision to do something or not to do something. Ultimately, that decision determines the direction of your life. So many of us feel like, oh, it's a free world. I can do what I like. But in that choice of doing what we like, I want to remind us that we are already charting the course of our lives by our choices and by our indecisions. We are, whether we like it or not. The second C framework is the chances. The chances are the openings, the opportunities we have to make a change, to make a choice. Today on this call, this discussion, I present to you an opportunity to make a change. And it all depends on you. Nobody's going to make this choice for you, but bear in mind that the decision to choose or not to choose also determines where it is that our lives are going. And the third C is the change, which is the transformation that results from the choices we make and the chances we take. That is when the change is going to come, right? And talking about changes, it is a process. It's not a destination. It's a journey. There's no end to change. It just only keeps getting better by the day. I was reading a book, The 5 a.m. Club, and it says every change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, but gorgeous at the end. That's by Robin Sharma. So, this is me presenting to you what to expect whenever you're trying to change something. It's not going to be easy because this is because this is how do I say it now? Um it's like your brain relearning something. I'm seeing some questions. I'm gonna stop this at 3:50 on the dot, and I'm gonna take some questions so we can wrap up at the top of the hour. Thank you, because I see your questions. I'm gonna come respond to it. Okay. So every change is hard in the middle. So don't expect that it's gonna go all rosy. No. I saw a picture, a graphical representation of consistency, and I saw that this is how it goes. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Sometimes it goes very up and then it goes really, really down. Yes, that's exactly how change happens. It's a series of ups and downs. But guess what? The more you go up and down, the more your neural pathways are rewired. They're getting used to the process until the habit is installed. So it's an installation process. So the title of this class is intentionally selected as installing, because we want to recognize the fact that it is a process. It's not a one-time event. Okay. And another quote that keeps me going when I want to give up is, everything you now find easy, you first found it difficult. Yes, everything you now find easy, you first found it difficult. So installing a reading habit, is it going to be easy? No. It's going to be a different hurdle for us to cross. But has it been done before? Yes. Can it be done again? Yes. Can it be done by you? Yes. The second how. So if you get my first how, please let me see it in the comment section. The first how is choose to become a reader. Choose. Make the choice. It's all about you. Nobody can make that decision for you. And until we make that choice, then we begin to put in measures, structures to achieve it. We're going to talk about all of that in subsequent classes. My second how, this is what worked for me, is build your personal library. Build your personal library. Yes. So the way the brain function works is, you've determined to do something. The brain wants to see that you're serious about this thing. What's the next action to take? Build a library. Please don't borrow books. Don't borrow books. Don't do free, what's it called? Free soft copy. That's even a piracy concern. It's a topic for another day. Commit money and buy books. I can't emphasize this enough, but it's a way to show how serious and how committed you are to this new thing you are trying to install in your life. Spend money. It's an investment. It's not an expense. Every book you pay money to buy is an investment. It is one step closer to financial success. I say it again. Every book you pay money to buy is one step closer to financial success. And I'll tell you how you're spending money to buy this book. That is part of the reason why you're going to want to read it. But if someone borrows you the book, or you get free online copy, then that's where the laziness and like, oh, do I need to? But if you see that this is an investment, it's like sowing a seed. You want to see this seed germinate. So spend money to build a library. And this part B of this comment is, keep your library visible. Let it be where you can see it. So that is what happened to me. So in Inner Circle, we're made to buy a lot of books. At least we read about 12 to 15 books every year, right? And at some point, I was doing e-copies. I was paying for e-copies, but it took me about 2 or 3 years. I never opened one of those books. They were all in my email. The moment when I started to buy the hard copies, I was seeing them every morning. I put them in a shelf where I could see them. Then in your in my subconscious, I started noticing that okay, there's a task I need to do. I have not done it. I need to read. I need to read. These books are lying down follow. So there's a connection. There's a thing it does for you. And thankfully, that is why you have the Reader's Corner bookstore, where we have a wide variety of books covering different genre, different areas of our lives: financial literacy, spiritual growth, emotions control. Spend money, buy books related to your field. I think my takeaway today would be, please identify the area of your life that you need to improve today. Write it down and buy books in that area and read at least 2 to 3 books. I bet you that that area would see remarkable improvements. Yes, thank you, Vic says. First, how? Choose to become a reader. Second, how? Build your personal library. Yes, it works. And these tips I'm giving to you, I didn't just use it for myself. Over the years, I've been coaching people by the side. People call me, but I just decided that okay, a lot of people find this information useful, and that is why I am online and I have you guys here supporting me, and I really don't take it for granted. Thank you once again. I read a book and it says victims have big TV victims have big TV screens and smartphones. Victims, yeah. But leaders have big libraries. Yes. But for me, I have two. I have the two. I have big TVs and smartphones, but I also have a library. Please don't be in the WhatsApp group of those that have big TVs and big smartphones, but no library. No, it will not work. We all need a personal library. We need a collection of books. I'm not saying it has to be a ginormous one, but at least have books for spiritual growth, for emotional growth, for finances, for health, for marriage if you're married, and then for your specific field. That is a must have for success. Having a library is a must have for success. I want to take us down memory lane. Which of the billionaires, which of the billionaires in this life are not readers? I don't think I know one. In fact, I'm in a group of readers where recently we started looking at book bingers, like people who are passionate about reading, top book bingers. And I began to see names of people on that list. Not one of them is playing small. The names like Bill Gates, the names like Matthew Ashimolo, the names like David Oyedepo, these guys are book bingers. They binge on books like they eat food. In fact, I even read somewhere that Pastor Matthew Ashimolo, he reads minimum of 100 books in a year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100 books in a year. Break it down. That is 2 books in a week. Yes, 2 books in a week. So that takes me back to my initial comment. Is it possible? Yes. Has it been done before? Yes. Can you also do it? Yes. Somebody might argue, okay, what about artists, all these Niger artists and all of that? They have advisors that are reading. They might not be reading the book, but they have in their team, in their creative team, they have book bingers. They have people that are reading morning, night, and afternoon, keeping abreast with the recent happenings and all of that. So let us not even come with this excuse of I'm busy. Bill Gates, we all know Bill Gates is a book binger. He didn't, is he Elon Musk? Who, I mean, the names on the list, they are just so endless. We can talk about this in another class. But what I'm saying is that book bingers don't play small. I don't know anybody who is an avid reader that is small. I don't know. Because what books do to you, it literally liberates you. It sets you free. I read a book and it also said that that people who don't read are bound in chains. That it's only reading can set you free. What does the Bible say? Thou shalt know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. How will you know the truth without reading? There's no way. Somebody cannot teach us the truth. No, we have to know the truth by ourselves. So my time is running really quickly. I'm going to take one last how, and I'll save the remaining, the hottest one, for the next class, on next discussion on Sunday, hopefully. I'm going to take the third how, which is set a clear reading goal. Yes. So we have decided to become readers because we want to break up the chains of ignorance. And then we built our library of books that we want to see changes in areas where we want to see changes. The third thing is to set a clear reading goal. And that's what I call plan, make a plan, like, right? This is what you want to achieve. I'm not saying we should, start reading 2 books a week or one. The thing is, commit to the process. Even if it's just one book in one quarter you want to start with, it is better than not doing at all. I know many people that are in that WhatsApp group that I was in. Over 30 years, I never read up to 10 books. Sometimes when I look back, I cry for myself. I'm like, what did I do with my life all of these years? If you are with me on this call and you're already feeling somehow, it's okay to feel that way. But I want to assure you that this is going to be a fresh new start for you. We are parents. How do we even know how to parent our children the right way when we are not studying? Research, things are changing. I tell you a story about an elderly parent that I was talking with sometime, and she says that she's on TikTok. She's over 60. She says she's on TikTok. She's a grandma. She's on TikTok. She's on Snapchat and all those things. And I asked her why, and she said to me, she has 2 boys, 2 teenage boys, and she wants to connect with them. When she chats them on WhatsApp, they don't respond. She calls them on phone, they don't respond. She does email, they don't respond. Then one day, she downloaded what's it called now? TikTok. And the moment she signed in, they saw her. They were the ones chatting her, like, "Mommy, you're here." So what am I saying? Reading keeps you up to date with the latest trend. I'm not saying we should spend time TikToking and all of that. I'm just saying that it helps us to stay where it is happening so that we can even make our contribution. So if all I'm doing today is on WhatsApp, and I said I'm a teenage teacher, the meeting has moved from WhatsApp. It has moved to Snapchat and TikTok and all of those ones. It is only with a sharp mind that I'll be able to make that move along with what is moving. So set a clear reading goal. What do you want to achieve? What do I want to achieve in 1 month? Specific goals. We already know how to set goals, the SMART goals, the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Time bound, very important. How many books do I want to read in a week? Or no, in a month to start with. Right. So that's it for me. Right now, I'm racing for 1 book 1 week. I started it already since earlier in the year. 1 book every week, 1 book. And it feels so refreshing. Like I look back and I'm like, this is a way to live my life. Because as a parent, also, for those of us that are parents, you find out that you have a lot more to teach your children. You have a lot more wisdom to share. So this is where I'm going to end my conversation today. Is 7 minutes to the end of time, and I'm very, very super duper grateful for all of you that have joined and stayed back. And there's a question that I wanted to quickly answer. Let me find it. Oh, okay. Udoka Query says, must we read paperback books? How about electronic books? Top question. Thank you so much for asking. And the answer is no. We must not read paperback books. But before I recommend it for you, I'm going to ask you to understand your learning style. Different people have different learning styles. What is your own learning style? So I give myself as an example. Before I knew the concept of learning styles, I used to, like I mentioned, buy a lot of soft copy books, But I found out that I wasn't reading them. Even when I read them, they were not sticking. So I want to just use this opportunity to say that reading, the essence of reading is one, for you to understand, get the wisdom, get the knowledge, sorry, get wisdom, that is, be able to apply what you've read. Thirdly, to be able to create. It is in that creation that money comes. All right. So it's not just about reading and flipping through and I'm done reading. We need to be able to represent what we've read, internalize it, and fix a part of us that reading has spoken to. That's how we get better every day. So for me, I was doing soft copy books and it wasn't working for me. That is because my learning style um is not for soft copy. So there are three different learning styles. You have the auditory learners, those people that they learn by hearing. Others are visual learners, people that they learn by seeing it, seeing the thing, and then the last one is the kinesthetic, or the third one. Kinesthetic are people who read like by demonstration, with gesticulate and all of that. So for me, I'm a visual learner. I like to touch the book, use my hand, be touching it, underline it, write it in my notes. It was when I bought the hard copy books that transformation happened. And then I got more connected, and now I wake up and I look forward to reading a book. So I think it all depends on our learning style. Some people are auditory learners, so they do the audio books, right? They are driving, they are listening, and it stays. But the first step is understand your learning style, and it makes it easier for you. So for me, as a visual learner, I can pick a book, I can read up to maybe like 500 words in a minute, because I've built myself over time. We're going to, in subsequent conversation, we're going to be talking about speed reading. There are techniques to read faster. So when you hear people read 2 books a week, they are not reading the same way of reading one by one. There's something called speed reading. So stay with me on this page. There's a lot coming your way. We can move you from reading 200 words per minute to reading 500, to reading 800. Some people are reading 1,000 right now. There are techniques to it. There are practical ways to achieve that. Thank you so very much. I hope I was able to answer that question. It does not have to be paperback. It can be electronic copies. It can be audiobooks. But first, understand your own learning style. All right. This has been so good. So good. So I just want to say thank you, everyone. Do I have any final comments from anyone in the chat? Let me know that we're ready to go. Or do you want to still stay? This has been very good, honestly. I feel very honored to be hosting all of you great minds, and I'm happy that we're beginning a journey together. I am here. I want to see how we improve on this very important topic that cuts across every sphere of our life. There's no area of our life that is not being impacted by how much we read. So I am happy to be hosting you on this journey, and I'm very grateful that you found time to join me today. I don't take it for granted. Oh, somebody says they want more. This is a 3-part series. We have only done part 1. In the next Sunday or upper Sunday, we're going to be looking at part 2. I'm going to be talking about creating time. This topic of time, we're going to unpack it. I'm going to prove to you that you have time to read every day. You have that time, and I'm going to help you find it out. I'm going to help you fish out that time, right? And together we're going to grow on this journey. Any last comments from anybody? Any more questions? Just to recap, number 1 is to choose to become a reader. The second how is to build a library of books cutting across every area of your life. The third one is to set clear reading goals. Okay? With the goals, then you are able to navigate your plan towards achieving those goals. Okay. So I'm going to call it a day here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I remain your host, Vera Patrick Azodo. Subsequently, in months to come, I'm going to have more people, more book bingers, more readers come share their story. And hey, if you have children that you want to help to read better, this is the page for you to be on. On Sunday evenings, be here. I'm going to share with you on this page how my daughter started reading. I didn't have to do so much, just some things I did around the house. And she started reading. And today, her goal for the year is to read 50 books. She's just an 8-year-old girl. And she already has a reading goal to read 50 books this year. That is one book 1 week. And I want to shock you that that girl has done about 15 books already this year. I'm going to tell you more. Stay with me and bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye. Oh my God.